You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey B&B fans, it is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we have got to talk about shifting alliances and loyalties coming this week to the CBS soap opera. Specifically, some forces align against Thomas, at least where it concerns him being with Hope Logan. We are going to unpack where Brooke Logan, Finn, and Steffy Forrester fall in this debate and how this could spell trouble for not one, not two, but three different relationships. Please click subscribe if you haven't. And now let's talk about all this and who might break up as everything shakes up when we head into February sweeps. So yeah, we know this week a whole pile of people figure out or hear that Thomas proposed to Hope Logan. So far, only Liam Spencer knows about it, and it seems he actually keeps his lips zipped unless he happens to be over at Forrester Creations spilling beans on Monday, because that's when Ridge figures out Thomas proposed to Hope. Now, it could be Thomas being sly when his dad questioned him, or it could be Hope fiddling with the ring on the chain and accidentally lets Ridge catch a glimpse. I've not seen this episode at the point that I am taping this. That's why I'm saying if. So I don't know exactly how it comes out, and you will know by the time you're listening to this. So don't yell at me in the comments. I taped this before Monday. So either way, it doesn't matter. But Ridge figures it out on Monday, and then almost right away, of course, Brooke Logan also gets to know. And once she knows, all hell's about to break loose. Of course, you know, Brooke despises Thomas. She's so certain that he's unhinged, untrustworthy, and obsessed with her daughter still. She gives him zero credit for the work he's done on himself, and she seems to think he deserves no second chances, even though she's gotten third, fourth, eighth chances after she's done sketchy things. So when Brooke hears from Ridge that Thomas proposed, I am certain she is going to recall that recent conversation she had with Hope. I mean, heck, we might even get a flashback of it. They love flashbacks. Remember at the cabin when Brooke kept going on, you need to break up with Thomas. You need to break up with Thomas. It's a phase, yada, yada. That's when Hope told her mother, you need to stop fighting against me being with Thomas, because who knows what our future might be. That was exactly what she told her mother. Hope as much as told Brooke that she has a future with Thomas, and that came after she heard the truth from him about him following Emma Barber that night when she raced to tell Hope about baby Beth and died. So by Thursday, Hope and Thomas are back in bed together. That is day one of February sweeps. We've got them back in the sack, by the way, and things seem good for them on Thursday. Things are going well. But then also on Thursday, Steffy finds out about the proposal. She clearly runs to tell Finn, because by Friday, February 2nd, the second day of sweeps, we're going to find out that Steffy and her husband Finn are united with Brooke in that they are all three opposed to the idea of Thomas being with Hope, Thomas proposing to Hope, them getting engaged, any of that. So here's where things start to splinter, though. Okay. Steffy sees that Hope is a threat to Thomas's mental health and well-being. That's her perspective. She thinks Hope is the danger, a woman who's toying with her brother, destined to break his heart and send him into a spiral that could ruin his life. Steffy is 100% Team Thomas, and she's anti-Thope, and she's also anti-Hope. Also, okay? Meanwhile, Brooke and Finn are on the same page as one another, which is an entirely different page than Steffy is on. Brooke and Finn both think Thomas is a danger to Hope, and not in a break your heart emotional way. Brooke and Finn seem to truly believe that Thomas is so obsessed that he presents a tangible and physical danger to Hope, even though he's never laid a hand on her in anything other than affection. Okay. So Finn is anti-Thope because he believes everything Xander said and decided that his brother-in-law is just some outright murderer. Meanwhile, Brooke just thinks Thomas is obsessed and dangerous, but I'm certain that if Finn tells her about Xander's accusations, she will embrace those as well and start telling everybody that will listen. So those two are anti-Thomas and anti-Thope. And by the way, if Finn does tell Brooke about Xander's accusations, I don't think Steffy's going to be very happy with her husband. But let's also not forget Brooke's fiance, Ridge. He is pro-Thope, pro-Thomas, and pro-Hope. He is a cheerleader for them as a couple and them as individuals. He thinks everybody else needs to butt out, let them live their lives because they are adults and can make their own choices. But let's be clear, Steffy's actually gonna need to shift around and be her dad's ally in this because they are the only two who are worried about Thomas. Now, sometimes Brooke tries to act like she's concerned about Thomas, but she's really not. This is her trying to go in sideways so that she doesn't rub Ridge the wrong way. Now and then she'll try to tell Ridge that Thomas being with Hope isn't a good idea because it's just not healthy for him or his recovery, things like that. But what she really means is Thomas doesn't deserve to be near my daughter. I hate him. I don't want him near her. I don't want him in my daughter's bed, mind. Definitely not in her heart. That's what she really means. I suspect that the more Brooke says things against Thomas, once this proposal thing comes out, the more problems it is going to cause in Brooke's relationship with Ridge Forrester. If Brooke ever opens her mouth and vents her true thoughts about Thomas, Ridge might have to take a step back from her. I mean, let's be clear. Ridge is in denial, I think, to the fact that Brooke truly hates his son Thomas, hates him, Okay, that's the first relationship at risk. As for the second one at risk, well, that's Steffy and Finn. It was not too long ago that Finn promised Steffy to drop this talk about Thomas murdering Emma. She told him to stop seeing and talking to Xander, drop it. He was hurting her. Finn finally agreed, but once he hears that Thomas proposed to Hope, I suspect he's going to do a 180. He's going to break his word to his wife, and he's going to start hating on Thomas again. I even think Finn might pick up the phone and call Xander, and talk to him because we do have some Xander scenes coming. And I think that Finn is also going to start the stuff again about how he has to protect Hope from Thomas, that's his job. Okay. All of this is going to rub Steffy the wrong way. So initially, I think Steffy's going to assume she and Finn are on the same side, the side where she's concerned about her brother and doesn't want him hurt. That's not the side Finn is on at all. He is on Hope's side, just hers, not Thomas's. Steffy's not going to like that, especially because, like I said, Xander's back in sweeps. I think he and Finn are going to be in contact again soon. Steffy's not going to like that. The more oxygen that Finn gives to Xander and his murder accusations, then the more trouble his marriage faces, especially if he starts ramping up this idea that he needs to physically protect Hope from her boyfriend, And of course, the last relationship at risk, the third one, is Hope and Thomas. So the huge question I have after seeing all the spoilers for this week ahead is whether their new relationship can withstand this kind of pressure from so many sides. I mean, Hope and Thomas already knew Brooke wasn't a fan. Finn voiced his objections to both of them. But with it turning into kind of a coalition of opposition with Xander and Brooke and Steffy and Finn pushing against them, can they stand up to all this and stay together? Realistically, all this opposition could push them closer than they already were. It could make them stronger. All the people trying to break them up could actually ensure that they don't break up. Maybe. I'm not certain Hope can withstand that kind of pressure, but she is a different person now. So to be honest, I can also see a different outcome where the pressure is eating Hope alive. Thomas doesn't want to see her upset, and he may volunteer to take a step back because he loves her enough to want her happy. And if everybody is just going to be picking at her constantly and will not let her be happy. I don't think he wants to be the reason she's miserable. I could see Thomas making a gesture like that, and that could be what finally tips Hope over into committing to him. When she sees that his actions back up his words, that she matters more to him than anything, and he is willing to step away from her if that's what will make her happy, because he wants her happiness above all else. We'll see. So what you guys think? Are Brooke and Finn about to get really hateful about Thomas? Which of these three relationships will survive sweeps? Do you think all three will? Or maybe at least one is going to crash and burn? Hey, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely drop your comments on this drama and come back soon. As always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.